What's going on, guys? Hit Squad here again. So the Giants are going to fall to 5-8. The Cardinals won 26-7. So let's look at it, right? Off bat, this team was just out of sync the whole game, completely out of sync. Um, when you look at the offensive line, how many sacks did we give up in this game? Hassan Reddick had almost, well, I think it was five by himself. Marcus Golden, I'm sure the Giants missed Marcus Golden, but at the same time, I didn't hate that trade at all. I'm glad that we were able to get something for him. Um, we couldn't establish a run game. I've been saying this, and I know a lot of Cowboys fans have been, telling us this since we signed Jason Garrett to as an offensive coordinator, where he draws very bland plays. A lot of his receivers won't get separation. Now, our receivers aren't getting separation, and that's failure to the New York Giants in the offseason. That's definitely something that we all as fans were talking about that we should have addressed, and they were heavily relying on Darius Slayton to become the number one, Sterling Shepard to be that guy as well, and maybe one of these undrafted receivers we get can be a gem, but our receivers are getting no separation at all. Evan Ingram was non-existent. The run game was non-existent. I understand that, Jason Garrett wants to establish a run game, but when you're down two touchdowns, you kind of have to stray away from the run. Um, Daniel Jones, I understand it wasn't 100%. I didn't think, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that Daniel Jones should have played this game. I said this in two videos ago that I did with Tim from Online Big Blue. I have never seen a player come back from a hamstring injury in 1 week, regardless of whether it was tweaked, regardless, nothing. Like, I have never seen a player come back from it in 1 week, and he was limping. He was limping towards the end of the game. That's how many hits this man was taking. I can't put all the blame on Daniel Jones. He didn't have a good game at all, but when you're getting no help from your offensive line, you're getting no help from your receivers. Your coach isn't, excuse me, I'm not going to blame this on Judge fully, but your offensive coordinator isn't calling a good game either. It's a recipe for disaster, as well as you're causing your own turnovers. That was a very questionable turnover. The kick to the ball on Dion Lewis. Uh, I mean, I understand that it wasn't, I guess, intentional, but weird. Whatever. It was just weird. Let's be honest. That was the game changing moment. That to me was when, okay, you know what? Usually when you've turned the ball over two times in the game, you're gonna lose the game unless you're Patrick Mahomes today, who turned the ball over three times and still won the game. But looking at it, this team was not prepared defensively. The defense looked stout, but when you're on the field for that long, man, it, you're not going to be able to really do much the whole game. Maybe the first stretch, maybe the first half of the game, but your defense is going to get tired. At some point, the offensive line has to click. The offense in whole has to click in order to develop drives, and we weren't developing any drives at all. I understand that we had one solid drive, which led to our only touchdown in the game. The offensive line really looked stout in that drive, was able to give Daniel Jones some time to launch that ball to Golden Tate to the 1 yard line. That was a great catch by Golden Tate. And the offensive line looked good, when Deion Lewis is able to run it in. But to me, the biggest issue is that it just didn't look like they were in sync. It did not look like they came prepared for this game. And, it hurts. It hurts because, we were on our first 4-game winning streak. And, you would think that, this team is going to the playoffs. This team is looking probably like the best team in this division. And, there's expectation, right? There's expectation that, we're going to go in, we're going to handle our business. We didn't. I saw way too many Giants fans saying that they wanted Colt McCoy in the game. And Colt McCoy didn't do anything for us. Colt McCoy would never go win us a game. He's not that kind of a quarterback. There is a reason why he's a backup quarterback. There's a reason why he only had 100 yards last week. How did we win last week? We focused on the fundamentals. We were in sync. We played turnover-free football, which we didn't do in this game. Daniel Jones fumbled the ball 3 times by himself. We had the Dion Lewis fumble. That's a recipe for disaster. You're not going to win. And Daniel Jones needs to play better. He needs to play better. And now the Giants have a big issue to where it's like, should Daniel Jones even start next week? Not due to his performance, but due to his health. He's not 100%. That hamstring injury is still bothering him. He shouldn't play next week. I'm sorry. I want to be Cleveland. I want to make a stretch into the playoffs, but guys, we need to focus on the health of Daniel Jones, and he's not 100%. He's not 100%. And if we keep having games like this where we're giving up 7 sacks in a game, 8 sacks in a game, you're not going to win. Go ask the Philadelphia Eagles who play the Saints. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if they got 8 sacks in that game against Philly. That's how bad their offensive line is. And our offensive line isn't even that bad. This was just a bad game. Now, let's look at the positives, right? The defense still looks stout. The defense still was in it. The defense was fighting to the end. But every fumble that there was off of Kenyon Drake, we weren't jumping on the ball. And that's not necessarily the Giants' fault. It just happened that there'd be a Cardinals player there that could easily jump on it, like their tight end or their offensive lineman. But the defense still looked stout, so that's still a positive to look at. Now, another positive is with the lose, if Washington loses today against the San Francisco 49ers, that we would still be in first place. We had to take this week in and week out. And let's be real, Giants fans. We knew that going into this stretch, we weren't going to win every single game. We're not going to continue this 4-game winning streak. There's very few teams like the Saints that can go on a 9-game winning streak, guys. So it was going to come to an end, but we need to take this week by week. I think that we'll come more prepared next week against Cleveland. But looking at this game in itself, we were not prepared at all. We obviously did not want the game as bad as Arizona did. I got to give a lot of credit to, Kip Kingsbury and Vance Joseph, Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins is a monster. Larry Fitzgerald, like, he's still in this league, man. He's still in this league, Hall of Fame receiver. He is the consummate professional. That is what you would want in any franchise player, regardless of the position. And, it's kind of a pattern here we're seeing. Arizona came in here last year, beat us in the rain in our own dome. We're getting beat again in our own dome again. And, the Giants have to learn from this, and they just have to focus on the next game. But Blake Martinez looked pretty good. Jabril Peppers looked solid. Xavier McKinney, I saw he was paired with DeAndre Hopkins on a couple snaps. That's definitely a welcome to the NFL experience. DeAndre Hopkins is easily the best receiver in the game. I don't care what no one says. I know everyone talks up Julio Jones, Michael Thomas. DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in the game. And I got to give a lot of credit to how Arizona was able to use him in this game. But, yeah, Giants fans, we just got to take this one week at a time. Let's focus on Cleveland next week. This was a horrible loss. I don't expect the Giants to play like this often, but, again, we need to also look at Daniel Jones' health. We need to realize we may need him in the stretch, but with us needing him in the stretch, he may have to miss a game, and he may have to miss Cleveland, unfortunately. Let me know what your thoughts are below. This was a heartbreaker, man. This was a heartbreaker. Like I said, I don't expect the Giants to play like this, week in and week out. But if we play like this, man, obviously we're not going to win this division. There's no playoff shot. This isn't how you win games, and the Giants are still learning how to win games. But this is Brooklyn Hit Squad. Y'all be easy. I'm going to see y'all in the next video.